All right, man.
We're the class of 18 is what I was joking to people. I was like, man, we had a shared experience together. We could all look back on oh yeah, do you need to make sure everything's on? The special election class of 18. But who's to say, like, I don't poke an eye again, you know? And then it's like, now I got to poke eyes all the time? Or do I just do it a couple times and then you bounce?
It was a fun experience, John. I ain't gonna lie. It was a matter of situations and learning lessons that I think we can all grow from as individuals and as a city. You was kind of straightforward with your campaign. You know, you was just like, F everybody and everything. Don't vote for me. don't vote for me, and everything is everybody's hypocrites. And I was like, all right.
Most of them oblige my "don't vote for me" request.
How many votes did you get?
I think I got 92. Who's guilty? Is someone here guilty? So we're gonna cut this.
Yeah,
Can you see the ponytail as we snip? Well, you've never had long hair, have you?
I've had long hair when I was in the 6th grade.
Okay.
My mom gave me a perm.
What?
Yeah, so I had a Jerry Lawler haircut.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna cut this off, man. You ready?
All right, here it goes. I feel the weight lifting. This is kind of like a massage.
Who usually cuts your hair, John?
My wife.
Oh, wow.
What experience does she have? She cuts my hair. So most of it seems to still be there. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Can we bag this right now?
Yeah, for sure.
We need to bag and tag this. Is there?
Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up real quick.
Is it a biohazard thing?
No.
Is there
okay?
Like
we can put it in
bags?
that. Yeah, we can put it in this. This is great.
Am I allowed to touch it?
Yeah.
Nice.
We saw the.
Do we got a 4010 sticker?
Oh, throw a sticker in there.
Let's put a 4010 sticker on the bag. All right. We don't have it. That's cool. All right. Oh. So now, what's the deal now?
I don't know. What is the deal?
So let's get a cut.
What is a man of my
stature? What do you
stature? What would lend itself to?
We need to even it out in the back. I think you do a nice something around here, kind of executive, some texture. You cut some length off the top. Nice traditional comb over, dude. I think you rock it well.
All right, let's go for that.
There it is.
That's it, bro.
Nice. Look at that. Auctioned off to the lowest bidder. Like should not have participated. Yeah. So what kind of pushed you to get into it? It seemed like there was like a lot of chaos right there. And everyone was like, "All right, shit, I'll throw my name in the hat."
Well, that's a good question. There were several things taking place in the community, and I wanted to be a voice for the people that I associate with, you know. And during that time, the transit plan was going down. With the transit plan, you've seen politicians really just put a plan together. They put a plan together and I was at the point, I was like, well, damn, if you can put a plan together that quick, then you're basically telling me that you can do anything that you want to do. As a politician or the city government, you can do what you want to do. And for cost of living allowances that wasn't available, you know, the affordable housing, you know, all that stuff, they were saying, well, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do this, but you can put together a transit plan that's going to cost us 30 years down the road. They're going to, you know, I'm not even going to be, I'll be walking on crutches or in a wheelchair to to the MARTA station, but if you can put that plan together, then you can create ways of affordable housing, and you can create ways for cost of living allowances for the city workers and teachers and first responders and so forth and so on. And so that's what I just wanted to get in.
Yeah, it seems like they're all like, oh, sorry, I ran out of money. And it's like, what are you talking about, ran out of money? It's like the busiest city going right now.
Well, that was another thing. Like,
they're like, but we got this idea to spend a whole bunch of it. It's like, you just said you don't have any money.
Well, the thing is
so I really enjoyed the back and forth there.
Yeah, the blighted areas. So during that time, I learned that downtown Nashville is considered a blighted area.
Yeah.
And that big business, if they want to come to downtown Nashville, the city will offer them money for the future appreciated value that they'll bring to the city. And I'm like, well, damn, if you've got a fund for the blighted areas and businesses that'll come into the blighted areas, well, shit, you got money for affordable housing. You got money for cost of living allowances. You just need to reallocate the funds,
Yeah.
And that was something that I wanted to stand on.
Certainly. Yeah, it was it was weird. Did you meet a lot of the other candidates out there? Because that was a big thing for Jeff Carr that we were talking about him. I met him last week, and he was a big voice on the anti-transit. Well, it was anti that plan. It's not anti-mass transit in general.
Right,
it was like
right.
That,
it was just that plan. And I think that's where we were here in our barbershop. We were anti the plan. I think transit's a great idea.
Dude, totally. It's like no one's saying boo on mass transit. That'd be ridiculous. It's just like there's a lot of. Well, I like, and they were like, wait, why doesn't this go to this part of town? Then like next week they're like, all right, plan's been updated, and just like a new marker showing where it goes down this other street. It's like in a week you were able to come up with a new strategy. Like something's fishy here.
No, that's right. That's right.
Like, oh, we meant to add this line too. Sorry, we didn't mention it last time.
Well, one thing that I noticed in the campaign is like raising money. The people.
It's a money game.
The people in Nashville, the big players, they will support. They will support if they think that you're going to win, or you are a front man for their business. When you hear stories of people sitting down with big real estate firms and raising $450,000, and then the Nashville Business Chamber, getting behind and throwing another, several $100,000 behind you, and in two sit downs you raise $750,000, and then you look at the marketing that was taking place, and you're like, well, damn, how much did you really spend? You didn't spend $100 during a 30-day time frame. Like you didn't. You had yard signs. So where's the other money? Is that in your campaign fund now? Like, which is none of my business. You raised the money, people gave it to you. That's fine, but we just know that there's resource available. People have the money. There's ways to do things.
And there was the lawsuit to move the election up, and I was like, that really benefits people that have the machine in place.
Yeah. I was a part of that.
I was wondering, and I was like, whatever happened to Ludi? Did you talk to him during all that?
Never talked to him. I beat him by 1 vote, though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But on that,
you were in on that thing.
Yeah.
Which that's what I was like. Actually, I was telling someone else. I was like, they were right though. You and Ludi and was Jamie Hiland his lawyer?
Jamie Hiland was his lawyer.
And I was like, actually, I was defending y'all because I was like, no, they had the right reading of the way the law was written.
Well, it says it in black and white. The Nashville Election Commission, it says it in black and white that if a special election has to take place, that it needs to take place in an expeditious time frame. And that's all we stood up for. I had a great bunch of attorneys that heard my voice. And
so did they group you and Ludi in the same lawsuit? How did they do that?
Yeah, they kind of just played off of it and piggybacked a little bit off of it. That's how that goes. I mean, me and Ludi never talked about it or anything like that. But
so you guys didn't have a strategy together.
No. Ludi.
He like ghosted the whole thing.
Yeah. So Ludi is old school, man. Make no mistake about it. Ludi is old school. And in his day, Ludi is a beast.
Yeah.
That's Ludi on
that's what
duty. I mean, I used
yeah,
to cut
that's
hair
what I
at Winfrey's barbershop, Oprah Winfrey's father. And so Mr. Winfrey was a councilman in District 5 for 17 years. And so when I cut there, I met a lot of people that would come through there just to hobnob with Mr. Winfrey, and Ludi being one of those folks.
Where was that? Where,
Vernon Winfrey Avenue, off Lishy and Vernon Winfrey.
I was going to say Cleveland Park.
Cleveland Park.
Yeah.
So with that being said, my thing with the mayor, the election, was the forums. You
Did you meet Ludi back in the day?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You have to be. Now, let me say this: Davidson County is a big county, and so to cover all the ground and touch all the voters that you need to touch, in order to get the word out that you're running or get somebody to vote for you, that's a hard task, man. And it takes days upon nights and a whole team of people to really get out there so you can be effective with your campaign. You got to have real people that believe in you, and you got to be abreast of certain topics. And that's one thing that I wasn't abreast of everything. I wanted to be an outlet for people that, look, if you can't trust anybody on the ballot, you can trust me. And I don't know everything, but I'll get in there and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Yeah. No, you definitely resonated with a certain crowd. I like to believe that I did not. But what you said was similar to what Jeff Carr was saying. He was kind of like, no, man, you got up there and you were able to use the platform to speak your mind, and that's a totally legit democratic practice. I was like, well, thanks. But calling them out, being like, oh my God, this is all theater. What are you doing?
You did. That's exactly what you did. You said,
like, they're all friends, and that, like, talking to Jeff Carr, went up to the space that he's making up in North Nashville. It's got like a podcast room. He used to do work on is it WVOL? For like 17 years.
Or was it Fisk? WFSK.
I think he was at where's WVOL? Is that what's that guy? He had a steakhouse, John Henry's, and he's the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
that is
Heidelberg?
That's WVO. That's WVOL.
Yeah. So, but we were talking about that, but he was kind of getting into that, like, behind the scenes. Lots of these people are chums. They're friends with each other, but that at the end of the day, it's a money game. And Jeff Napier estimated that it was roughly $12 to $14 a vote is what you end up spending on, like, you were talking, the marketing, the signage, the commercials, the advertising. I was like, dadgum, I've raised $0. That's not good.
$14 a vote. Wow.
Right? Doesn't that seem like a lot? And I think that was the average of, like, Briley, Swain, and that upper tier that was the more seasoned pros, like Gilmore, Love.
Right.
The ones that had the machinery in place and that constantly do. But dude, I was impressed. You were on top of the second tier, as they call it, right under Jeff Carr, right?
Right. So
yeah.
the voting results from the, I'm not going to say career politicians, because I don't think Jeff wants to be labeled as a politician.
No. Good point.
But from the career people that have been doing it longer than I myself or whoever, there was, man, a 2,500 vote difference. So, or maybe 3,500. I don't know. So it went from like thousands to hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
In that
Yeah.
second tier.
Yeah.
And and it's cool though. The hundreds of votes that I got, it wasn't a lot, but hey, man, that's still hundreds of people out here that believe that you can run a city.
Dude.
And if I can gain that much awareness just off the barbershop, like we just did this out of the barbershop. Me and my guys, we was just sitting here and we was talking. We was like, hey, man, the barber literally touches the people. Like, we deal with people every day, and so that's what we was like, you know what, let's just do it. And here it
Let's
is.
go
We
for it.
came from a 436 square foot, building to a forum with the mayor. And when we was at the library downtown, I threw up in the bathroom. The first.
Beforehand?
Oh man, dude, I had butterflies out of this world, man. I was like, David, what have you got yourself into, man? What are you doing, man? Like they was asking me, are you Republican or Democrat? I was like, I don't really even know the difference. Like,
For real though.
like I don't even know the difference. Like, what's the difference? I mean, the Democrats for the working man, the Republicans for, they're conservative. I didn't really know, man.
That's yeah.
But you live
Some
and
of
learn.
them you don't know the difference. You're like, oh, what huh?
Right.
Well, dude, that was the funny thing. Before we met at that library one, that's what I was like, because I brought my kids there, and one of them was a baby. I was like, when do we start kissing babies? I brought my own. And Carol started laughing. She was like, you must be the comedian. And I've seen her recently.
Have you?
She's
running
really
again,
nice.
right?
Yeah, she announced. She was always really nice. Even at that forum in North Nashville where we were all lined up, it was one super long row.
Right.
And I was like,
So I'll let you in on a secret.
go for it.
So I've been knowing Carol Swain for probably 20 years. My mother-in-law works at Vanderbilt University.
Okay.
Across the hall from Carol Swain. My wife does her hair. My son does her yard work, cuts her grass. This is all back in the day stuff. So she was a close friend to my mother-in-law, and so it was funny. I already kind of knew who she was from the jump. Our views were a little different. Carol has a lot of points. She has a lot of points, but then there's things that you agree with, things that you don't agree with, and you just have to stand on the stuff that you agree with, and you can't let nobody sway you. And believe you me and my campaign manager Bradley right here, we went through some topics and was like, hey, where do you stand on this? Where do you stand on that? Where do you stand on this? I was like, I don't know, Bradley. And so we would have heated discussions, and Bradley was like, you know what? I like her more than I like some of the stuff that you're talking about. But, he was on my team, so it is what it is. That's funny. Who else was on that? Let's see here.
I was I sitting next to Love?
I like Harold Love. I've been on Harold Love for quite some time.
Dude.
Harold's a good guy, man.
Always dressed to the, on point. His nails are really well done. That was something that I always remember. That there was a. I just looked over and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, that's a nice looking set of nails on that man.
Harold.
And he has his own way of tying a necktie.
Yeah, he has the double Windsor with a twist.
Is that what it is? Okay, I haven't learned it yet. But I was like, that's crazy. He invented his own way to tie a necktie. Yeah, he was always really nice because even at that, it wasn't TSU. Was it Meharry?
And Meharry.
Yeah. So I left. We were kind of in the backstage area, and I left because I was like, oh, there's too many people in there. So I didn't pull my number out of a hat or whatever it was.
Right.
And I was like typically lost, wandering around, and Harold Love is the one that extended a helping hand and was like, he was like, all right, come over here, meet her. They're gonna set it up, and so that's why I was on that first panel with you guys, is because Harold Love, he could have just left me and not fooled with me at all, but was super helpful and always super nice.
Harold is a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Even through the campaign, I would have questions, and I wouldn't hesitate to ask Harold.
Okay.
He's always been community involved.
Yeah.
Even when he was beforehand. He comes from his father was
Did they have a funeral home?
No, his father
Back
was
in the day?
his father was a councilman or something.
Okay, for some reason I thought they
I don't
came
know
from a funeral home family. but it might be confusing. There was a when I lived in Memphis, there was a local family there where they gained a lot of outreach was at the funeral homes that they owned.
Right. And then Briley, Briley.
Dude, old school.
Yeah, he's old school.
That's what I was telling someone. I was like, it's established history now that his grandfather, first mayor of Metro, was involved in the cover-up of a murder. It's like, it's not conspiracy theory. Like, now we have the documents. I was like, her name was Paula Herring. And that's when everyone started being like, lock your doors at night or you end up like her. Essentially, it was Beverly Briley was an alcoholic and he was protecting a drinking buddy, is how it all went down. So they ended up railroading some guy, and I was like, these aren't saints. It's like they might have had good intentions, but like I was like, this stuff came out 20 years ago. Thankfully, after the old man passed, but it's like now we have all the paperwork. But I was like, you talk about like the old school connections.
Well, he consolidated metro and county government, right? Like
Beverly Briley was the first mayor of the consolidated government, and that was back when the Tennessean and the Banner would get behind different candidates and kind of run each other into the ground. Like,
and
it
you
was
can't
like
do
old
that
school
now.
style.
Like the publications can't endorse, or they can endorse.
Who knows? The scene's always going to be
Now Bill Freeman,
soldiers of the status quo.
Yeah. Bill
pretending
Freeman
to be
just bought the
left-wing.
scene, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Oh yeah.
Which also that group of publications also includes the Nashville Post, which is kind of a business to business type thing. But it does
Right.
other stuff. In Focus is like their society magazine, where rich people buy it to see themselves at charity events. It's essentially what it is.
John, what do you think
I'm
about
not
Nashville
against-
now?
Dude, it's not the way it used to be. So I went to Aiken for elementary, and that's totally different now. Twice. We talked about, we moved away to Johnson City, then moved back. Then we moved to Houston for middle school, when I was in a pretty rough neck of the woods there.
In Houston?
Yeah. And then moved back, and that's when I went to MBA, as we mentioned, where I dropped out of, and went to MTSU, but then still had to get a GED. I was there for a year and a half, and they called me and they're like, "Yeah, we never got your high school diploma." I was like, about that.
So you went to MTSU without graduating high school?
I went under some program where it's like your senior year, you're allowed to take college credits, but they assume you're still in high school. I just didn't do the high school part, and no one bothered to check that my classes were during the day. So it's like when one would be in high school. So, and then after that expired, I was just kind of already in the system, so they let me go ahead and start registering for the next semester. So I did that, and then after that one, they're like, "Yeah, we never got that thing. We just need to formalize this real quick." And I was like, if one did not have a high school diploma, what does one do? And they're like, well, you need something. So then I got my GED at Cone Adult. Back over on, is it still there on
It's
Charlotte?
on Charlotte still.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, at least there's still some of that around. My kids were born at Baptist, but now it's St. Thomas Midtown.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Baptist Hospital, would that be considered North Nashville or West Nashville?
Dude,
What part of town is that?
that's a great question. Well, at least St. Thomas is, they're calling it Midtown now.
Right.
I don't know. That's a really great question. Yeah, does North Nashville start north of Charlotte? I don't know.
Well, I've heard the answer.
What's
And
your
the answer is one side of it's north, the other side is going east. I'm going west.
Okay.
So what? That's a good debatable topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So were you able to raise some money? And you don't have to talk about whether you don't
not
want to.
really, man. We raised a couple of dollars from some anonymous people, but Not really. I mean, it's hard to raise money. I mean, people really got to feel like that you're gonna win. You know, and then being it's your first time out of the gate. You know, you kind of just do it for name recognition. You know, my goal was really and truly one day I'll run for councilman. You know?
Okay.
And because of the special election, I said, you know what? Let me jump out here. Let me get my name out there in another realm, and just see what it does. And you know, the ultimate goal will be councilman one day of maybe one of the Madison districts, or maybe a East Nashville district.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's where I'm from. You know, I was raised in Woodbine till I was in the 5th grade, and then we moved to East Nashville. Went to Madison for a stint, and then I ended up graduating from Stratford in '93. And so from there I went to the military. From the military I worked every job you could think of. Then I went to barber school, and here we are 19 years later, countless barbershops and barber schools later. We're over here in Green Hills, man. So
yeah, man.
Here it is. Couldn't tell you how many people, you know, 100,000 people probably, I don't know.
And then you got a spot in East Nashville?
In Madison. So my son and daughter, they have a spot in Madison called Slicks. It's in the Madison Square Shopping Center.
Okay.
Down the sidewalk from the old 99-cent theater.
Is that where all those streets are named after trees? All the side streets?
I think they are.
It's like oak and ash. One of
Yep.
my
No, you're right.
one of my friends, like grandma lived on one of them. I forget.
Like Walnut.
Yeah, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that little stretch right there. Cool. Yeah, that what you said is pretty similar to Carlin's story. So we went to Carlin Alford's office. It was like Christmas break, maybe. Was it around?
Right after.
And that was the same. That was the thing, is his dad was in politics up in Indiana or wherever, Illinois, wherever they're from, and he was interested in council here. But when the special election popped, it was like, oh, all right, here's an opportunity to get out there and meet some people. So did you? He was then. So he started. I think he's out in Bellevue, and so he started talking about the Bellevue Sunday picnic out there. Did you go do a lot of those things?
I did the picnic. The picnic was a cool experience.
Was it? Dang
Yeah,
it!
it was
I
cool.
didn't go. They kept hitting me up, and I was like, "You don't want me out there. You don't know who I am. You don't want me at your event. Let me save you the trouble of being like, we
Well,
did
that's
what now?"
right. Because your platform was F you,
It was a little
F
antagonistic.
everybody. I don't want anybody to vote for me. Everybody on here is a hypocrite, and yeah, I'm just here because I can, and just remember not to vote for me. I was like, this dude here.
Oh, dude, that's
But, you know.
that's a great summary.
What was your platform again? What was it called?
Corruption, hypocrisy, influence, and taxes.
And that's-
CHIT, the chit show.
The chit show.
But it was, don't vote for me because you're going to get all this stuff anyway, and I'm really terrible at that platform. So it seemed to resonate with a few, and then others were upset at my performance.
right. And the
To
thing
put
about
it
it
mildly.
is I was, until I got it, I was kind of like, wow, look, this dude here, man. You know, and then I was like, oh, okay. All right, I got it.
Well, and that was my thing. I try to be nice to everyone. I didn't like try to take any cheap shots on anybody. You know what I mean? Like, kind of try to keep it light. That last forum at that church in North Nashville,
Right.
trying to get a picture with everybody. You know, like having a little fun with it. Trying to.
That was a real. So that
was a real one, dude. And I kind of came out of my shell a little bit there and showed them how I really feel on some things. And that's where Carol was like, she was actually complimentary. Because it was something about like, they're not kicking in doors in Green Hills doing drug busts. And so obviously there, it resonated really well. So and I sat down and Carol was like, you were passionate about that. And I was like, thank you, Carol. And she was like supportive, even though I know it's not what she believes in. So I'll tip my hat to her for for that. She was always pleasant to be around, and she allowed people to say their piece. Just like she wanted the courtesy extended to her.
Right.
So we'll see where that goes. Are you still in contact with her at all?
No, I mean, I could reach out to her today if I wanted to. Man, I'm so busy, you know?
Yeah, tracking you down it was a task and a half. But I wasn't going to give up.
No, I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad we was able to work it out. So what's next on your agenda?
I guess try to broker this release of an old Nashville rap CD or two. And then, no, I'm just joking. I'm trying to finish up my commercial building. I have 2 final units that are being built out right now. So, like I was saying, getting the carpet installed, inspectors coming and going, trying to make everything up to code so people can move in. Because one of the units is going to be a radio station, a community-powered nonprofit radio station. That was a lot of the people that used to do WRVU back in the day. They're older and have bigger record collections. So I just got that building going. It has lots of art galleries, so that they have an art crawl. The first Saturday of every month, and 2 of the galleries across the street are kind of your more commercial galleries, so they'll bring out the more serious collectors, and then in my building it's smaller project spaces and a lot of experimental type art projects and standard artwork from all over the world, really.
Wow.
Watkins has a student-run gallery in there.
In your building?
Yeah.
Nice.
David Lipscomb's art department has a small 200 square foot little room which is still pretty good for what they show, just flat work on the wall. Dude, actually,
that's awesome, bro.
Talking about, and then there's a large gallery channel that he also rents his space out for event rentals. Mm-hmm. He used to rent it out to, do you know the crew Dope Shit Only?
I'm sorry, I don't know Dope Shit Only.
I was wondering, they're newer.
Bradley may know Dope Shit Only.
Dope Shit Only? Is Dope Shit Only landing with anyone here?
No, I don't know who that is.
That's what I produce.
Well, this is the brand of they do shows. They do a lot of the younger, newer crowd, but some of it's okay. It was probably past your time, but some like Vac used to come there from Bezeled Gang, which I don't even know if they're still around. But that was after you might have been done doing stuff.
Yeah, I was told that you're not in the music business unless you want to get out of it. And
that sounds about right, actually.
And that it was a hard business for me to get into. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I would like to have composition nights here at the barbershop, and stuff like that, because there's a gang of people that come in here that are involved in music. Look at it. We're right down the street from the Bluebird.
Yeah.
We're right here. So
certainly.
this is a great area for people to come and do music. I would love to have it. You just get a little bit of everybody here in the barbershop.
Yeah. That was I was kind of excited he was doing those type of nights. The only problem is the smell of blunts is so hard to get out, especially when there's a whole night of it. It's just like more power to you, but damn, now we got to air out the whole building for 2 days.
Yeah, they're gonna smoke weed.
I was like, that's what I told Dustin, because he had never rented, and I was like, that's the way those events go, man. You could be as you could please smoke outside. You could still smoke it outside, but 12:30, 1 in the morning, like, nah. Dude, is this a mayoral cut right here?
You're back, bro. You're back.
Don't say that. You'll be an accessory.
You're back, bro.
Like, damn, we got a repeat offender here. I'm like, Mr. Hiland hooked it up.
Yeah.
Um,
Look it up.
yeah, man. What do you feel like you learned a lot?
No, I learned a whole lot.
What like what are the top two things?
Well, it.
Money. You said the money.
Well, there's alliances. There's
Alliances.
There's
Yeah.
alliances in this business, and if you're not aligned with the who's who in this city, then you're not gonna get too far. To make yourself known, to create awareness, to get voters, just what it is,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Did anybody reach out to you, or did you reach out to anybody else?
As far as after the fact,
Getting your thing off the ground, or like meeting other people doing stuff.
you know, so being in music and being a barber, you know, it's self-employment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that if I don't create awareness for what I'm doing, nobody's sitting in my chair, right? And that's with the barber business, that's with the music business, that's with anything that you're doing independently. And running a campaign is just like promoting a party. I'm trying to get everybody to the club on this particular day during this particular time. And that was my mindset. You see what I'm saying? Different strategies, but same concept.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't think about that, but straight up, exactly like that. Yeah, I almost saw a lot of it because I had just come off the TV show. I was kind of looking at a lot of it as we're talking about the political theater of it all. It's
Right.
like, oh damn, it's the same thing over here. Like, put on your wardrobe, go get on stage, have people watch you perform. You have scripted lines that you need to remember. The better ones do a hair and makeup round beforehand. I was like, it's the same thing. You got your props. Harold Love's got his shiny nails. Like, you're looking good out there.
No, you're right.
And so I was kind of seeing it from that world and kind of seeing a lot of parallels there. But it's interesting to hear you, specifically what we were talking about earlier, your experience in another music scene from here in Nashville, and seeing a lot of the similarities there. It's almost like a business where it's like people were the winners in that business are gonna keep on winning because they've built up their client base. They built up their fans, like you were saying.
That's right. See, I went after the barbers and the stylists. You know?
Oh, really?
I went after the barbers and the stylists. And so a lot of my votes came out of barber shops and beauty shops.
Really?
Yeah. Because I figured if I could get them, they were like little honeycombs for people. You know? And if I could capitalize off the barber shops and beauty shops, then I could almost capitalize off of their patrons as well. If I could get a sign in a barber shop, you know, then it would help, you know?
Wow. Yeah. Did you think you had a lot of luck with that?
I think that's where all my votes came from. You know, and of course Facebook and just doing different stuff. You know, social media, advertising, stuff like that.
What kind of advertising?
Facebook, Instagram type stuff. You know. You know, get a video, had to shoot a video, and then kind of pay for it to be marketed.
Okay, and then you had yard signs made too, right?
I had yard signs made.
Yeah.
Had
Did
yard
you have
signs.
the big ones made too?
I had some big ones. I went to war, man, just like I was one of the hometown heroes, man.
Yeah.
You know, I did have the biggest sign at Howard School.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Okay.
Because I couldn't fit my little ones in nowhere else. At 1201, when you could put out signs,
it was already filled.
it was already filled. Briley had it lock, stock, and barrel around the front two flower beds.
Really?
I got there at 1201. Love was putting his stuff down, and I was like, man, there's no room to do anything. So I made a call, said, hey, bring one of those big ones up here. And we dropped that joker straight in the front yard. And so as soon as you drove in, hey, keep Nashville smiling with Hiland. You know, and it's right there, Hiland from Air. And you know, I had some people call me, say, man, I seen you downtown. And I was like, yep, I'm running for mayor.
Yeah, man. It's wild out there, and it's like you put yourself out there, you make yourself vulnerable, so you will get attacked.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just part of the thing. It's like, yep, playing on it.
Oh yeah. You got to be ready to go to war for everything. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and
Did
I had
people
no.
come at you on certain issues?
I put everything out there, man. I put everything out there. I was raised in, like I said, raised in Woodbine, raised in East Nashville. I did everything under the sun. You know, I've sold dope in the streets. I've did everything there is to do. Period. You know, I'm not scared to say it, but that's not me any longer. You know what I mean? I've changed my ways, and I've seen a lot of self-destruction from other people who walk down those avenues, and I feel for them and I feel for their families because it tears them apart. You understand? It tears families apart. So I've seen people incarcerated for shit many years, 20, 30 years, and I've seen those kids grow up without fathers or out stable pieces in their households, and it's like, damn, a couple of dollars, you wanted to make a couple of dollars, and you risked this? No, there's some things in life that just won't work without me, and that's my family. You understand? And I'll do whatever I got to do to stay here, period. You know? And so if they would have shot at me on that deal, I was ready for that. I was ready for whatever. It didn't make me no difference. You know?
Did you get people digging up anything?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No. I mean, you know, and here's the thing. I did a Facebook post, and I put everything. I saw my first.
Oh, really? Okay.
I did a Facebook post from 1975, from the day I was born till present. You see what I'm saying? So whatever they could have put out, I've already put it out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool.
You know, I wasn't worried about it. I seen, you know, you want to talk about public schools? Well, all right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about, you know, hell, Linden Middle School. I saw cocaine being sold in the 8th grade in the bathroom. You know, I went to Stratford. Crack cocaine first hit in Stratford High School. You know, seen people murdered. I've seen people murdered. I've seen, I mean, all kinds of stuff, man. Yeah, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s type stuff. You know, yeah, I wasn't worried about none of that stuff, man.
Well, it seems like some of that stuff needs to be discussed, and at least a lot of times you get up there and like, none of these people have seen that shit. It's just like, yeah. I was like, I was almost proud of the city that there was so much diversity, and there also was a spot for some weirdos. But then a spot for people to be real and be like, here's what my experience has been, and it's not the same as theirs.
Right.
Because there's people out there, I think, that to your point, it's like, well, if not you, who? And they see some of the other people on the slate, and they're like, I don't, these aren't my people. They don't represent me.
Well, here's the thing that was the best thing about the whole deal. It sparked some type of inspiration, some type of motivation for other people who thought that they can't do it. So yeah, and that's what we need. You know, the city needs that type stuff.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Oh, but I was gonna, you know, Jeff Napier has jumped out of an airplane more than 1,100 times.
That's crazy.
He told me that. I was like, what? And sure enough, he showed us a video. He took Jeff Carr on Jeff Carr's for his 50th birthday for like his first time skydiving. And I was like, what the hell? And so he told me Jeff Napier was gonna try to.
He was gonna parachute into the Bellevue picnic.
When I can't not laugh. Oh my God. Yes. See, I was not informed of that because I never joined the group to go out there and set up stuff. But yeah, apparently that was brought up. But did you hear how that unwound? Like
they couldn't do it. They couldn't get the air clearance or some crap or something.
Oh man. Yeah, when I heard that, that had me cracking up. So I was like, so great, because he showed us a video of him like skydiving into somewhere in the middle of a field with all the smoke like coming off of his feet or something. He has like these smoke boots. And I was like, you wanted to do that into a mayoral event? Damn, you're crazier than I am. But he said they were into it at first. They just couldn't pull it all together. Were you there when Ralph was saying all that stuff at Meharry?
Ralph went ham at Meharry. Ralph was almost labeled a racist at Meharry and was almost escorted out of there. Yes, I was there.
How did it go down?
It got real quiet.
Someone told me they shut his mic off.
They shut his mic off.
That's wild.
Yeah,
That
they
to me.
shut his mic for sure.
Okay, yeah. Because I was there earlier, and then the funny thing about when I left there is I went to Zany's. I did like a little 5-minute set at Zany's Comedy Club. So I was like, oh, it's a 2-set night. Because, I was like, do my material over here. And then Kevin Farley let me kind of do an intro spot right before him.
You know, are you pretty?
He was on the TV show.
Do you know a lot of comedians?
No.
Oh.
But I just knew him because of that one project, and so I saw he was coming through, and some other people were going to be down there. So I was like, oh, okay. So he let me get up there and do my chit show thing, and people liked it.
So when Cedric the Entertainer came to town, I was on Cedric's Barber battle on the CW network. I competed for $15,000 on this TV show.
What?
And I got to the money round. I got beat by a point in the money round. Blah blah blah. But he came to town with George Lopez, and he hit me up. Said, "Hey, I'm coming to town." I hit him back, and or vice versa. I hit him up. Knew he was coming to town, and he was like, "Dude, how many tickets you need? I got you." And so I got front row tickets, and I went backstage. He was gonna shout me out, but we didn't get the shout out. I wish we would have, but we didn't. But I did get backstage, and we chopped it up a little bit.
Nice. When was that?
During the mayor election.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Talking to Carlin Alfred, one thing is because he was running, and it was one of those things where he was interested as council person, but then this thing popped. But he said at his church, they kept because Harold Love, we're talking about when your dynasty runs deep,
Mm-hmm.
They kept mentioning Harold Love is running for mayor, and he visited that church every now and then, but wasn't a member of the congregation.
Right.
But Carlin went to the preacher and was like, "I go here. I am running for mayor." And they're like, "Oh, we thought you were just playing around." And so I felt bad for him, but he's like, "No, I'm serious." But I was like, "But they gave the pitch to Love."
Yeah, that's
already.
Love's church though. See, Love's a.
Well, it wasn't the one where he went to. That's the thing. It was a neighboring one that he visited. So he was kind of felt burnt by it.
Well, you're not supposed
but I was
to.
like,
you're not supposed to.
I think they just announced
co-mingle.
Right. But you know how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
You reach out to the shepherd.
There it is. So what? So what's next for the day?
After this, go see that carpet installed nicely. Hope the electrical inspector came. Let's see. My daughter's karate belt display.
How old is your daughter?
3. She's 3.5.
Nice.
So it's a fun age, but we also have a 1.5, and they're both at fun ages, but they're both at difficult periods too. But so that's going on. So it's the final phases of the build out. So I'm at the building every day, just checking on things and doing a lot of the work. I don't know. My background is carpentry, so I have all sorts of materials I've saved over the years that I've used for that. You should come check it out. It's upstairs. It's pretty nice. I think most people are confused. "Oh, you made this?" Like expecting like cardboard on the floor or something. Like, yes. Oh my God, I know how to do some things. I have a skill set.
I will definitely come by, man. That's cool. I like that area right there.
Yeah, dude. Especially on what days are you off?
Mondays, Wednesdays.
Nice.
Yeah. That boy's coming back to life over here, ain't it, man?
It was my winter build out. I was kind of just growing it out while I was dealing with this thing. So I was like, oh, it'll be a nice little build out. 2 rooms. I've done most of the work. Wrap up in December. Nope. Yeah, man. So I wonder if I do it again, how much $0 will get me.
I don't know. You know, honestly, if you came back out and you didn't take the comedic approach,
that's what someone else said. They're like, drop the chit thing,
and come out swinging for real.
Some of my stuff was real, you know, like decriminalizing lots of things. That's what Carlin told me. Is like at that North Nashville thing, Briley was like expecting me to be hung out there because like, oh, this isn't going to fly here. But then I came out with some real stuff, and people were like, oh, yeah. Decriminalizing prostitution, like, now is being discussed by national candidates. Back then it was me just presenting it like, what are we doing to our most vulnerable people? But out there, is that 37208? It's something where it has the largest percentage of black males incarcerated.
Yep, that's it.
In a zip code in the country.
Right, that's it.
And so it's like, oh my God, what are we doing? This is how we protect people by just throwing them in prison? Like, I don't think it's working. I don't think we're improving lives. But yeah, that was the final one. But that's the thing, is you look around at who's running it. I made a joke. One of the newspapers ran a thing where it's like, here's all the possible candidates, and like they all kind of looked alike. I was like, oh my God, like, oh, I'm so excited about the wealth of diversity being presented here.
Well, Jeff Carr ran on that too. He said that, yeah, there's 13 people running for mayor. He said, but I see a wealth of people.
From last time.
I see a wealth of people that care about the community and all, races, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, he made a good point about what was like 10 of the 14 or whatever. This was their first time.
Right.
Doing something. I was like, oh my God, you're right. That's crazy.
Bam. There we go, my friend.
All right. Okay.
Got you hooked up.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go pull some papers at over by the airport.
You should, man.
You've been there before, right?
Oh man, I know where it's at. Dude, it's always a pleasure, man.
Dude, thanks so much, man.